All right, guys. So we are back. We took a hiatus, well, a long hiatus, during the summer when we did a test run of the podcast, and it actually was a pretty big success. So you guys are wondering what the hell is episode, I don't know, 5 doing here, and where's 1 through 4? Well, they were like 6 months ago or more. So yeah. But bringing it back because the Oscars are here, and we're going to be talking about a lot of movies that aren't comic books on here. And with me is some of the other people you guys might have heard before if you listen. So the first one is going to be Sean,
What's up?
and the next one is Preston.
Hi, everybody.
So we would have Rich here, but we're recording on Valentine's Day, and Rich has got to get it in. So he's
He's the lucky one tonight.
right,
Yeah.
and I'm here doing a podcast ranting about the Oscars.
That's how lucky we're gonna get.
So it should be a pretty good time. We're gonna talk about some of the stuff that's just happening around Hollywood, obviously, and one of the big topics we want to talk about right off the bat before the big trailer drops in a couple weeks is going to be the Ghostbusters reboot because reasons to make this movie, I guess.
Because they want money.
Yeah.
Because the 80s never died.
Yeah, like, this is gonna be another like Point Break remake rant from me, anyways. It's Jesus.
I mean, I get, they have nostalgia, right? Like, nostalgia is the big factor here. So you want to bank on that Ghostbusters name. But the only thing that shafts me isn't even it's like, oh, they're all women and it's gender swapping and stuff. I'm just like, listen, why couldn't this just be like a direct sequel, right? I think fans would be less resistant to that
Yeah.
than if it was like, okay, it takes place 20 years after. Sure, we'll go with that. But they're like, no, it's a reboot and the others don't exist. And then they're like, oh, they're going to make cameos from all the, people that are still alive that were in the originals. I'm like, that's just going to be distracting now. Like,
Yeah. Well, the biggest problem for me is it's like again, like you said, I'm not going to reiterate it, but the women thing doesn't bother me. But I mean, it looks like an imitation version of the Ghostbusters, and um, if you remember a while back, they were talking about like Channing Tatum and like all I think it was Jonah Hill
mm-hmm.
being involved. Even then, I was kind of like hesitant because like that's one of the movies that like kind of like put me on this path of where I am right now. And there's some movies that you should just leave alone and just not touch. And I felt like Ghostbusters is one of those movies. It's like it's a product of that time and period.
Yeah.
And they got to be hellaciously lucky to have the chemistry that the previous cast had. And from what I saw, it just doesn't look that way.
Yeah.
Well, I'm the more optimistic one. Well, strained optimism because it's just a teaser. I need to see the full trailer to get a solid opinion. I have no issues at this point. I don't like the idea of women Ghostbusters. Next, they want to vote. So, like, women. No. I have no issue with that. I think they're rebooting it because they are kind of old, and we just lost Harold Ramis, so it'd be weird to do a sequel. So I'm okay with them rebooting it. I just don't want them to Point Break it.
Yeah.
I'll go next.
I also don't want them to like RoboCop it, right? I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't mind the RoboCop reboot that we had. Like, I was okay with that movie. It's a good action movie for what it is, but it didn't have that message that RoboCop had, where it was like the product of its age, where it was a social piece on everything that was happening. It just it didn't have that. So like when I look at everything that's out there right now, I'm just like, is this movie gonna do anything like that? Because Ghostbusters kind of had that. Like, it was this
Yeah.
at the perfect time, at the perfect place, this perfect humor. Like, everything just kind of clicked, and like this one to me just seems like I don't know. It just seems misplaced. I don't know what it is. I can't place my finger on it. But ever since they announced it, before I ever knew it was even like an all-woman cast or anything, just something about a Ghostbusters reboot felt off to me. And maybe it's that word reboot that I just hate so much. But I don't know. Well, we'll see.
It could be like from the teaser. I looked at a lot of the comments, and they keep saying like, "Man, this looks really dark and gritty for a Ghostbusters
Oh,
movie."
That's the key words that people need to get out of their mind when
yeah,
the movie is. They need to just destroy those words completely because dark and gritty. Look, you can have fun and light humor and still be serious about it.
Yeah.
I think me personally, it's Melissa McCarthy. I've never been a fan of her. and she seems to do the same shtick
Yeah.
each and
Hmm.
what I'm afraid is she's going to carry this into it and then leave that stigmata onto that film. It's like, to me that's just like,
You-
like, I have no problem with her, but like she needs to change her act before, you
I'm
know.
I'm glad you bring that up because a lot of people know, and I talk about this. Like some of my guilty pleasure are those Pitch Perfect movies. Like I love watching those just because of like, my guilty
Fun.
pleasures. But yeah, they're fun movies, right? But it's like that Reba Wilson, she's in them, right? She's been doing the same shtick
Yeah.
every movie over and over. And it's just like I see her face or
Yeah.
her name before a trailer starts, I automatically know what the shtick is. It's like, okay, she's gonna
Yeah.
mention she's Australian,
Yeah.
she's fat, she can't get a guy,
For
and it's
sure.
like you just go down the checklist, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
that's what McCarthy brings to every role I've ever seen her in. And I'm just like,
That's
it just kind of the typecasting in this movie already seems on point. I'm like, okay, so they got the sassy one, they got the attitude, they got the fat one who don't need no man. Like,
yeah.
it, I don't know. I'm like, I'm gonna see this movie though. Like when it comes out, I'm gonna be there probably opening weekend, and I'm gonna watch it with an open mind. And
Mhm.
hey, the movie could surprise me and end up being a good, solid reboot. I'm like, yeah, yeah, I'm behind this. But currently, it's cautious optimism at best.
Yeah, like when I can't talk like specifics, but like I was in Boston and near that set for the when they were filming out there,
Hmm.
and and some of the stuff that I seen was just like, why, you know, like, why are you doing this? And like everybody was picking on the suits, stuff like that. It's like, nah. I mean, again, like you said, it might be good in the context of like the movie itself, but like from what I saw, it was just like,
Yeah,
ugh.
right. Right now, to me, it's sitting at that Fantastic Four 2015 reboot where everything they're saying is just wait, and people are going just wait. But in my mind, I'm like, I don't know, guys. You're telling me to just wait, but I'm seeing through your crap. I mean, once again, it's like Sony, right? So I'm just like, ooh, they've had a shaky last like 5 years to say the least, especially the last 2 years. So
Yeah.
Like,
Putting money. I'm going to put money down in that trailer. Melissa McCarthy is going to get hit in the head. In the head. I'm putting double my in the head,
I,
and she's going to fall down on the floor. Money
I'm
down.
smart man. I'm not gonna take any. I'm gonna put any. Like,
I'm also calling Leslie Jones. It's going to be sassy black woman Leslie Jones, like she is in SNL. I like her in SNL, but I don't think she can be Ernie Hudson like how he was.
hmm
sure. Just out of like, just off the subject, but isn't it gonna be funny that we're gonna use Fantastic Four as like the measurement of how bad it is? That's gonna be around for a long time, guys.
Is this movie Fantastic Four bad, or is it better than that? It's better. Okay, so it's still bad, you're saying?
Is it from Fantastic Four to 10?
Uh,
Oh god.
that movie chafed me. So, I guess people here, is there any closing comments we want to make about Ghostbusters other than well, I'm gonna wait for the trailer, then I'm positive we're gonna talk about the trailer on this podcast, and then we're gonna pass our, official like, ooh, I don't know about this, or oh, yeah, this looks great.
I just wanted to like for me, I just wanted to capture the spirit of that franchise. If that does that, I'm fine. I'm good. I'll enjoy that movie. But
Um, yeah, I'm hoping to enjoy it because yeah, I'm gonna be optimist. Like I need to see the trailer, get a much stronger opinion on it. At
Hmm.
this moment, from what I've heard, mostly from Kristen Wiig, just because I love Kristen Wiig. She seems like she wants it to be good because she's a Ghostbuster fan. So as long as you have fans making this, it should be good.
yeah,
I agree with that. So there's our Ghostbusters talk. Like I said, we will be back with more Ghostbusters talk when the trailer is out. We can officially make some sort of more clarified, bigger judgment at the bigger picture that's there.
or
So the
more.
next topic we want to talk about is just talk a few minutes on some of the like our favorite movies from 2015. They can be blockbusters, indie, whatever the hell it is we saw out there, I guess. And I guess I'll just start off the bat by saying, and this is going to kind of segue into when we talk about later, but I really enjoy Creed. That's one of the movies I didn't like. I didn't even watch the trailer. I was just like, listen, I'm just going to go into this movie blind, and I want it to be good. And walking out with it, Creed ended up probably being my like best movie of 2015.
Yeah.
Like that movie just shocked me in every way possible. Like I did not expect that movie to do what it did. I mean, and talk about Michael B. Jordan rebounding. I mean, if he didn't
Yeah.
have Creed, his career would be dead from Fantastic Four. So
Yeah, it would be a
Yeah.
Fantastic Four thing. um, I'll be honest with you, that movie came out of nowhere, and I'm pretty like I'm pretty up to date with all this stuff. And when I heard about it, I was always a fan of the Rocky series. Um,
hmm
I've never been a slight against Stallone, but like he did surprise me by getting out of his way
oh
and
yeah,
playing the character that he did. And I've seen Michael B. Jordan like Fruitvale Station. I mean, the guy can act. He can get it done, and he was the best part of that Fantastic Four.
yep.
If he would have gotten better direction or better story, I think that movie he would have made that character great. Yeah, Creed was definitely one of my top five favorites of 2015.
Yeah, I really liked it, considering the fact, like, I'm probably the youngest one here, probably younger than Joel. So, like, the Rocky movie I saw was Rocky Balboa, which was, that one that came out in 2006, I think. So
hmm
that was kind of okay, good for me. I'm not really a sports movie person, but, Creed was, like, for a person who doesn't like sports, I really like Creed.
Yep.
Did it make you want to go box after
Well, not me. I know I'll bleed badly.
that?
It made me want to go walk through Philadelphia. Then I realized I'm the whitest guy there, and I'll get shot by saying something stupid. So no.
I lived there and I saw people go up and down that statue a lot of times. So, you
Uh,
know, Rocky's an American staple.
Oh
So
yeah.
yes.
Well, it's like that movie. Also, like, there's a bunch of times you tear up in the movie. Like, it's a very emotional movie. And I mean, I'm a person that grew up with those. Like, I remember being a kid, and my family would rent them when they come out, and I'd watch them. And I'd be like, yeah, this is great. So I mean, it's so good to see that. So I guess with Creed, another movie. I don't know what you guys thought about this one, but this is also high up on my list. It was very early of 2015, but Ex Machina.
oh yeah.
Like, man, Oscar Isaac, what a talent! Like, that's the first movie I ever saw him in that I can recall that I really knew his name, and that movie, including the performances and the message behind the movie, just like it blew my mind. And like, just being such a small time film and everything, and how much of an impact I think it had to like start off 2015 was pretty damn impressive. So
You said early 2015, so like this came out in January, right?
it
Something
was like
like
January, February 2015. Yeah.
yeah, which is surprising because usually that's kind of like I call those the filler months. It's not really any big movies you kind
Yep.
of want to go see. So I'm surprised that a movie like that came out and was good as it was.
Well, you know what made it really good was the science. Like my wife, I mean, she saw it and she understood everything. Like the ending was kind of clumsy, but like the whole movie was really enjoyable and made sense.
Yeah.
They didn't try to over explain anything.
Right.
In Oscar Isaac, yeah, he literally is like one of my favorite actors now because I seen him first saw him inside Louis Davis, and like I was like, he's gonna be big.
Yeah, I mean, just I didn't know what to expect for this movie. All I knew was the like teaser trailer, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to see this because I tried to ignore it because I was like, I know I'm going to be into this. So I mean, seeing it was just kind of a surprise. Now, what are some of the other movies that you guys saw that kind of like came that you thought were really like best of the year?
Do you want to go or do you?
I got one. I saw Room. I want to emphasize Room, not The Room, for all you people listening out there. This is the movie about the woman who's trapped in like a tool shed because
Yeah.
she's kind of kept there. Really emotional movie. I didn't know what to expect. I found it to be really good, and it does this thing with the cinematography at the end that gives you a whole perspective of where she was trapped the entire time. Because like in the beginning, it seems like a pretty big place. Then in the end, you see, wow, how small it is. And I usually hate child actors. The child actor they got for this was really good. And people say, he was annoying in some parts. Well, he's 5. That's how some 5-year-olds act. And look at
Yeah.
the situation he's in.
Yeah.
Did you guys see Room?
Yeah. Brie
Um,
Larson, greatest actress, good actor.
that's one of the movies that was not pretty much anywhere near me, and there was one theater that had it, but it's so far out of my way that I couldn't like get out there. So I was like, yeah, this can't happen. I plan to see it as soon as I can, but it's on my list so far.
All right, Sean, what about you?
Yeah, I seen it. I seen it here like a week before it came out, like nationally. Brie Larson. I mean, she blew me away on it. Like I had some preconceived notions when I was watching it, and because I seen her name, and I kind of knew what she was attached to a lot, before that. But then when I seen it, I was like, it was really well structured. I mean, and like you said, the kid actor is like amazing. Like I work with actors, and I've dealt with kid actors, and let me tell you, I'd rather work with animals than kids, because you can control an
Yeah.
animal, easier than a kid. But this kid is definitely one of those one of those young actors that like is it's gonna be if you look at the way he acts, he's gonna be big if he continues down his path.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Um,
I'll agree with that. Another one that this was a movie that I knew I was gonna love, but I didn't think it would resonate so much with me. And at this point, it's cool to kind of trash this movie. I don't know why, but Inside Out.
yeah,
Like I love the hell out of this. Like this movie is so good. It's like I think that Creed is the best movie of the year because of like the technical level and what it did. But my favorite movie of the year is Inside Out. Like I love Inside Out. Everything about it is so good. Like, yeah, I can't praise it enough, honestly.
yeah. I mean, it was a very effective movie. I mean, you could show that in school, without like to teach about emotions and stuff like that. It's, yeah, and you could sit there and relate to every scene of that movie you can relate to in some way. And like
Hmm.
Pixar definitely nailed it.
Yeah. One of the negatives of a children movie is that there's going to be children in the theater, and they're going to be, yeah. But no, I loved Inside Out. I left the movie just like, wow, that was pretty deep for a Pixar movie. And one of the complaints I heard was just like, so what? It's supposed to teach our children to be sad? No, dude, it's teaching it's okay to be sad. Were
Yeah.
you not watching the movie?
We're in America. We control emotions with pills and stuff.
Uh-huh. Now,
No,
how do you
that's the
guys
sequel,
feel
Sean.
like how do you guys feel about this movie? And I've seen it get a lot of accolades. It's certainly, I mean, it's up for Oscars for the love of God. And I never thought I would say this, but Mad Max is up for Oscars, and that's Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was beautiful.
Yep.
Cinematography was great. God sake, George Miller deserves it. How much more, time does he have left? He took the way he designed and made this movie. It's like if you told that to somebody, they'd be like, "No, that's impossible." He did that.
Yeah.
How was he? And he pulled it off. I mean,
Yeah.
he reined in the actors. I mean, there was well-known beef between Tom Hardy and
Oh yeah, Charlize Theron.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
oof.
And like just the fact that he made that happen and brought it all together.
Yeah.
Guys,
He did a great job. I'm always one for practical effects, and like the fact I just had to Google and just like, okay, was that CGI? Wow, they actually did it. That was great stunt work. So the nominations it has, it deserves them.
I think my only complaint is a lot of people like seem to sell the movie as like something bigger than it is, and I'm just like, don't get me wrong, I love this movie. It's in my top three this year. It might be number two actually, but like when I look at it, it's just a like glorified action movie, right? I mean, it's executed way better than the typical Michael Bay trash, that's for sure, and it
Right.
has more heart and better characters. But to me, it was like I don't know what did I miss something like when I watched it? Like I don't know if I missed something, like if there was something more. And I mean, I've seen the movie multiple times, so
well, you know what it is. Like when people when it's like people jump on the bandwagon.
Right.
Yeah, it was a great movie, yes, but like
Uh, are these
people.
the same? Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I mean, are these the same people who are saying like it should get film of the year or something like
Yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah.
it's
Like
ridiculous.
it's like look at a Stanley Kubrick movie. Mad Max is good, but it's like it doesn't have the layers all those other movies have.
That's what
It's
I'm
a
saying.
Sure.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It like it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. It's well crafted, but it's not like
I mean, I pretty much support it in every Oscar it can possibly get besides the Best Picture, and
yeah.
I just don't see it as a Best Picture movie. Like, and I mean, we'll talk about that when we get to the next one. Well, actually, we might as well just transition and talk about the Oscars because we're just gonna kind of talk about a bunch of the movies we already talked about, some of the other ones. But to me, when I really look at it, I mean, I'm looking at Mad Max. I'm like, I don't know if it's best Oscar picture, especially when I had something like that completely shock me. Which you guys watched The Martian, right?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my God!
The
Like,
one man show was great.
the,
Really good.
oof,
Apparently, the best comedy.
yeah. What was that about? Like,
Yeah, that was a stupid foreign press though. Like
Were you guys not laughing? He had to use poop to survive and not die
very
of starvation.
it was hilarious. He got trapped
Uh,
now,
millions and millions of miles from home.
I will say this though. I've never seen a true IMAX experience. My first IMAX experience was New York Comic Con 2015 weekend
Mhm.
at an IMAX, and it was The Martian. So the big
Uh,
comfy seats. It was like $28 a ticket. They would shake. They had like the speakers right next to them. When the end of that movie came and he like blasted off into space, and I literally felt like I was gonna throw up because I felt like I was in the movie. Like
and that's
that
what they want you to feel.
that made it even more of an experience. So yeah, I enjoyed the hell out of Martian. I think the accolades it gets are totally worth it, and I can't
Mhm.
say good enough about it. Now, another movie that I didn't see that I really wanted to, which I'm gonna see when it comes out, and there's actually two of them. That's The Hateful Eight and The Revenant. I didn't see either of those, unfortunately.
I saw both and I loved both.
I didn't see them either, just because like time and
Yeah, the
movie
time
theaters.
during the holidays when they released was so precious, which obviously I had to see Star Wars for comic book cast and everything, which Star Wars, man, what a movie. Holy crap.
Don't get me started on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I love the Hateful Eight. A lot of people were getting on it about how claustrophobic it felt. They were jumping on Tarantino for that and all these little petty things. But it's like like the whole movie plays out like a play, and it was like I went to one of the traveling shows. Like they had one of the traveling shows that came through.
Uh-huh.
For they give you like the whole the playbook and everything.
Oh, that's cool.
It was amazing because like I've been to Broadway shows before, but like when we were sitting at the thing, they had intermissions between each chapter, and it felt like a play.
Oh.
Um,
Cool. Oh, man.
and I've always been a Tarantino fan, and like Defender, the guy makes good movies. He beautiful movies. Whether like Death Proof was like one of his worst, but it still was really good. It was better than some of the best movies out.
Yeah. So where would you rank this one? Would you say it's better than his last movie Django, or not quite there?
Nah, I mean it had some flaws for sure, but like I would say it's I think Django. I think if I had to rank it in like a 10, it would probably be like a 7 in Tarantino.
Ah, yeah, I'm
But
still gonna check it out.
but it's like the best part about it is the ensemble cast. Like you have he achieved what he wanted. Like you don't know who. It's almost like a violent version of Clue. Like it really is though. And that's how I describe it to people when they ask me about it. I was like, if you like Clue, it's basically a violent version of Clue.
I'm gonna I'll have to check that out as soon, probably when it's available, so I can actually get the Blu-ray out to sit down and watch it. And that's the unfortunate part about loving movies in the medium. There's so much comes out that you end up missing like half of it, and that's
Yeah,
it's so many movies that come out every year. And like I said, Star Wars came out, which I mean, I haven't heard your guys' thoughts on Star Wars. If you want to give them to me, especially the fans that are listening to this, they haven't heard you guys' thoughts either. So feel free to tell me about it.
I loved it.
Loved it. It was
It's fun.
great.
Yeah,
What more? What more do you want from us? I
like
have too many Star Wars toys. If that's going to explain how much I love the film.
it made me feel like I was watching the original Star Wars. Like it, it did its job. Whether it did have its flaws like every other movie, but like it hit every quadrant, and for me because it like the minute I walked in there, the minute I seen the crawl, I got goosebumps.
Yep.
I was like,
Yeah.
I'm in a Star Wars movie.
Well, I got what I wanted was the opening crawl and everyone in the theater exploding in claps and
Exactly.
cheers. I was with Star Wars fans. It was great.
I'm gonna admit it though, I did cry. There's
Oh yeah.
I literally did cry. My wife was looking at me like, why?
See, I cried, and it was good because it was the first showing, and I was invited to the premiere to record it for the CBC. So I looked around, and it was like the room was silent,
Yeah.
but that's after the crawl, when it starts in the giant explosion, and then it was quiet, and I looked around, and a bunch of people were just wiping their eyes. I'm like, we all realized where we're at. Like,
Yeah.
it's reality just hit right now that in 10 seconds the crawl is over and a ship is gonna stroll past the screen. It's like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm living to see this. And like,
It's
yeah,
happening.
it's Star Wars, man. I can't wait to see where it goes from here. That's definitely one of my best of 2015, and obviously
Yeah.
it's got a few Oscar nominations. What else do you guys think for the Oscars? I mean, what do you think about the whole controversy? Because oh my god, am I sick of this bull crap?
I'm not one to, Sean, you talk first.
Well, all I can say is that it's a bunch of white old men. Like, what do you
Yup.
expect? You know, um, with the accusations of being Oscar fair. Look, uh, when I seen Will Smith's or Jada Pinkett Smith's video, I literally got angry. I was like, this is ridiculous. These people are pandering. Like I've seen the concussion. If it was bad, it wasn't that great. Like if he's been nominated before. I think it's just look. The Oscars are run by old men.
Yeah.
I've heard
Mhm.
conversations where, and I'm not going to name any names, but like I've heard conversations that go, that name sounds really good. I'm going to go ahead and vote for that one.
Yep.
And like it
And like,
tears you up inside, but like it's like that's the reality of it until like they've made changes to like putting 10 in best picture, never doing anything with it. It's like
and I'm glad you bring that up because, like, if people don't know how the Oscar voting works, essentially they have a bunch of people that they send out a list to, and those people reply. Now, in that list, they'll include, big Hollywood bigwigs. Then they'll include directors that haven't directed something in like 15, 20 years. Then they'll include top-rated teachers from around schools, right? And they send out this list, and I knew a teacher when I went to film school who was part of this list.
that's
And
sweet.
he would essentially just say, "Hey kids, what do you think the best movie was?" All right, then he'd fill it out because he barely watched any
Last one.
movies. Then he send it back in, and that's it. And I think there needs to be some sort of like governing like finger over the films that goes, "Hey, has this person made a movie in 15 years or 10 years? No, it's 11. All right, they're not allowed to vote." It
For
has to
sure.
be someone that's in the industry. Why? Like, why are they using people that haven't made a signal like contribution to Hollywood in 25 years to vote for a movie? They don't care. Like,
They're not in touch with what's now,
it,
what the now
Yeah.
is.
exactly.
And
Yeah.
it's a huge problem, like in this community. I mean, it's a huge problem in the film industry because like there should be a term, just like any other governing body. You do your time, and then like if you haven't done anything in the 15 to 20 years, it's good aside. Let somebody else go in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw Straight Outta Compton. I love Straight Outta Compton, and I'm surprised they didn't get anything. Not even a single. Like they get. Yeah, it got nothing.
I like that movie, but I didn't think it was.
Well,
Uh,
I'm not saying it deserves Film of the Year, but
well, like the problem is that like a certain sect of people want to be recognized for sure,
right.
but
Like I just want to point. I don't think there's a big. Okay, please don't call me a racist, people. I don't think there's a big controversy. Like maybe Will Smith didn't do a good job this year, and he didn't get a
Right.
nomination.
yeah, but Michael
Not.
B. Jordan should have been nominated for
Yes.
sure.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I think I mean I'm sure we're all in agreement on that. But I think like Straight Outta Compton was good, but I didn't think it was worthy of a nomination. Maybe for another like in other sections, but like like it's not. They have nominated minorities. It
Yes.
has been minorities have won.
I mean, didn't 12 Years a Slave win last year? I mean, obviously they're not racist people
Exactly. It's
Right.
just they were just a bunch of old people that are not in touch with what's good anymore, you know, and
Right.
that's the problem.
It's like that Simpsons meme. No, no, it's the children that are out of touch.
I,
It's
I,
that.
I love that. Blame other people instead of yourself.
Exactly, you know, and when I seen that video, I literally wanted to throw my computer at the wall because it was sad that she even went that far to do that, you know, which
Hmm.
it wasn't for her people. It was just it deep down inside, it was because they snubbed her husband, and
Yep.
that's what it was for.
Yep. I mean,
Sorry.
I don't know. This whole controversy thing, it just bugs me. It's like, and I understand, like you said, they expanded how many movies you could nominate for an Oscar, right? So then, if they knew they were gonna get shit, why didn't they just fill out that list of 10, right? Like, why didn't you just fill out the lists and have it on there, and then no one would be talking about this? Instead, one year they were like, oh, we don't have enough. Next year we're gonna expand how many nominees you can get. So they fill it out, then they expand it again, but then they don't add any more films to fill up the list. It's like, so what was the point of that? Just for one movie? Like, come on, guys, you know?
It's because they wanted them to feel like the fans were heard, and that's it. That's
Yeah.
all it's for. You know, they didn't plan on doing anything, but you know, the problem is it's always going to be there regardless because one old white guy goes out, there's another old white guy to take his place. But
And like, you're a guy that works in the industry. I don't know if fans here know that, but Sean works, and I don't want to say too much, but it's like you see some of the hard work that goes into films. You're behind some of these films and putting hard work into it.
yeah,
So when something like this comes out, it's not just attacking, the bigger Hollywood picture. It's literally attacking like what you do for a job. So it's like,
yeah,
it's just, I don't know. It bugs the hell out of me. And I just, when people talk about it, I'm just like, can we just like drop this whole race thing? I mean, I don't have a problem. Like if the
yeah.
movie's great, like I said, Creed, amazing movies. I don't have a problem
Sure.
with it.
Like some of the best like actors and directors are black people, you
Yeah,
know,
by
Right.
or
God,
you
yeah.
know, color, or you know, there's Catherine Bigelow that represents the women. There's plenty out there that just need to be heard. That's all,
Dude,
you know.
when what's his name? When Ryan Coogler was announced to be directing Black Panther, you could literally hear my screech if the world was silent. Like that's
Yeah,
how excited I am. Like he's gonna be perfect for that. So
for sure. He's gonna nail like just looking at his past movies. Um, he's gonna nail it. He's
yeah,
gonna
Yeah. He's gonna do a great job.
yep.
can't wait.
So with that in mind, we're gonna end this episode by just talking about somebody. If we've seen anything that we would recommend recently, whether it's new or old, that you would recommend that people go out and watch, and it doesn't have to be nothing you have to think about for like, for a while or something. It's just anything you might have recently seen that you would recommend. And I'm just gonna start off by saying, there's quite a few movies I've seen recently, and one movie I particularly enjoyed from last year that just actually came out on Blu-ray and DVD a couple weeks ago that I think is good if you have a family especially. Go watch Goosebumps. It's a
Yeah,
tribute to Goosebumps. It's not anything like, mind-blowing or revolutionary, but if you've read the books and, grew up on Goosebumps, you can watch this and there's references and Easter eggs and it's like a roller coaster ride. Essentially, it's one of those fun ride episodes that they do in Goosebumps. And honestly, if you've thought that you maybe hate it just by the look of it, just give it a chance, and I guarantee you're gonna end the movie with a smile. It might not be the best movie; it's maybe like a 7 out of 10,
it's
but
fun.
it's entertaining as hell, and I recommend it.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's really fun.
Um,
Um, I'm gonna go ahead and say, in the spirit of what I've been doing for the last like 3 years, I kind of took a step back and started watching documentaries again.
Mm,
I picked up The Jinx. That was the HBO special. It's like a life and death, the life and times of Robert Durst, which like just a little bit about him is Robert Durst. Like his family basically owned half of Manhattan, and he Robert Durst was accused of killing his wife. This documentary goes through the whole thing from like the beginning of their relationship towards the end. And if you want to see someone like like literally like confess to murder on camera, and like your jaw will drop. This movie at the end of the movie, I guarantee you, like you'll be going, "What the fuck? What the fuck did I just hear?"
Damn.
I found this movie literally just flipping through the channels. It's an old, I want to say, 1999, 2000 movie with Tobey Maguire, Pleasantville.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know who's seen it, but like I just saw it. I thought it was really good. It's just about these two kids who get trapped in a 1950s Happy Days, Leave It to Beaver show, and it's like, it's great. It's great because it makes fun of all the tropes of those shows. Like nobody knows what sex is, nobody knows what a boob is, and when it has an R rating and it uses that to its full extent, and
Yeah.
it's great seeing these 1950s oh shucks kids learning how to swear. So check it out. It's a pretty good comedy. It's got pre-Spider-Man Tobey Maguire.
I love the black and white look to it too.
Yeah, that's
I
good.
think I've seen that while scrolling through on the TV. I think I've seen it.
Yeah, like he's Tobey Maguire, regardless if anybody heard, he's a really good actor, and this kind of showed that he got some range.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I guess people are gonna want to know what the schedule for this podcast is going to be, and while you're listening to when you can tune in. So currently we're recording this one on a Sunday. Now this isn't normally how it's gonna go. We are normally gonna plan to do it during the middle of the week at some point. I think Thursday was the date we settled on. But this week my daughter had some plays, and then I was actually like sick. I kind of ended up coming down with this flu and stuff. So we're tentatively looking for it to release on Patreon on like Thursday nights, and then like Friday or Saturday on SoundCloud, followed by probably Saturday release on the main YouTube channel where you guys can listen to it, and then iTunes to follow and all that. So we're definitely going to try to round it off with Rich once again joining us. You guys have heard him before, so he'll be back, and
Key Rich.
exactly.
Can't wait to get the gang back together.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't do a long hiatus. The last time we did this, Jurassic Park was in theaters, and now it's space and robots.
Oh, we didn't talk about it this week, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna bring it up next week. Maybe they'll release more details. But stay tuned because if you guys want to hear me go off on the Transformer cinematic universe,
I'll join you on that one.
oh my god,
Oh boy.
they just see it fit to constantly just to jab me in the eyeball like with a like goddamn
Talk
don't
about
like
generic action movie number 2.
exactly.
Hey, we are getting a Bumblebee movie we've been demanding for years.
I want a Sideswipe movie.
Oh,
I want a jazz movie.
Yes, definitely on that one.
I want Ironhide, the redneck truck robot movie. The movie universe.
Just go to Florida. I'm sure we can figure that one out.
So thank you for joining us, everybody. And as always, we